Hello.
Welcome to the Must Love Yarn podcast.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
A podcast of knitting, spinning, fiber festivals.
I've seen you on there
Yeah.
before.
And helpers.
And helpers. We have a school in service today, so
We do.
we are podcasting with small people.
Yeah, with small people, and if you want to come to the show, just check it out.
Thank you for the plug.
That was awesome
We
plug.
appreciate that. So yes, we are coming to you from Shelburne, Vermont, where our store is located. And I'm Kelly, by the way.
And I'm Angela.
And
No, you're not. You call me mommy. Thank you for the tip. If you want to come, you can come today or on Saturday or on Sunday, okay?
fantastic.
That's all you need to know, okay?
All right. And you can find us online, pretty much most social media outlets. You're watching us probably from YouTube or our website. That's
Correct.
where I usually post them. You can also find us on Ravelry, Instagram, Periscope, Twitter,
Everywhere.
Facebook. Yeah, Instagram and Facebook tend to be the two that we use the most, and Ravelry, our group.
Yep.
So,
That's Must Love Yarn. And you can find
yes.
me on Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
and I am on Instagram as Kelly O Spins, and I am on Ravelry as Kelly Spins.
That's right. And this is episode 18.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Oh
we've
my
made
gosh.
it to 18. We're almost to 20.
We are. We are. That's very cool.
Nice.
Yes, and this is probably going to be titled the Rhinebeck Haul episode because,
Yeah,
yeah,
where it's our post-Rhinebeck recap.
that's right. So it's today. Today is the 20th.
20th.
20th of October. I
Yeah.
can't believe October's almost over with.
I know. I don't know what happened.
But Rhinebeck was this past weekend. We were there Friday, Saturday, and we came back Sunday. But we went to the festival a little bit in the morning.
Yep.
We've got all kinds of fun things to tell you about. A bunch of fun pictures that we'll probably insert.
Because
There's
Stephen West was
oh my
there.
gosh, yeah.
Lots of other folks were there.
Yeah.
We've got some crazy animal photos to show. So maybe what I will do is I'll collect up all the photos and then I'll do like a slideshow either before or after the outtakes at the end.
Yeah, that was fun
So.
because we were at the podcaster meetup. We met up with a few people. Thank you for saying hi to
Yes.
everybody who said hi to us. And we got to hang out with a few other podcasters too.
Which was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So
Always nice to see other people.
it is. But we'll kind of towards the end of the podcast. So if that's if you don't want to hear all the festival shenanigans, we'll put that towards the end.
Yep.
We're also going to put at the end, we had 2 contests going on during the festival weekend, which they're Instagram contests. One was hashtag MLY Rhinebeck 2016 for people who attended Rhinebeck and wanted to put some fun pictures up there.
Yep.
And the other one was hashtag MLY No Rhinebeck 2016 because we wanted to make it a little bit fun for people who either couldn't go for whatever reason or, so we didn't want to leave those people out too.
So we've got winners and prizes for both categories.
We do.
So.
We do. And we had quite a few entries in the, for the people who went to Rhinebeck. So we have a grand prize winner and we also have a runner up. So check out towards the end of the video for winners.
Yep.
And, I think all of our winners are local, so once you see the podcast, just let us know, and if we don't hear from you in a week or so, we'll send out emails to you, because I think I have everybody's email address.
I just dropped my stitch marker.
Uh-oh.
I don't know where it went. Oh well.
We'll find it.
We'll find it later.
We've got a lot of spares around.
Oh, there it went.
From Knit Group.
Don't mind me.
So I have one FO this week.
I have one as well.
You do?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm
We're
wearing it.
we're both wearing our FOs. So do you want to talk about yours?
I can. So
Okay.
this is the Wedding Necktie by Susan B. Anderson. It's knit out of Madeline Tosh DK in the Tarte colorway. And it is a Christmas gift, but I'm wearing it, girl style, the loose tied there. So it's Fun little.
It looks almost black on screen.
I know, seed stitch necktie.
But it is actually the tart colorway, which is that really pretty reddish black.
That screen actually doesn't show right, but when it plays back,
does it?
It'll
pick that up.
Be the right color. Yeah. So it's kind of a reddish cranberry, dark cranberry.
Well, it's kind of cloudy here today. We're supposed to get like up to 4 inches of rain.
It's okay. It's not like we don't need it.
I know. My
But
poor
maybe not at
husband.
all once.
My poor husband has an outdoor event this weekend that he's helping.
no.
He's pretty much running, and yeah, he's going to be a little bit soaked up.
Yeah. I think.
But
Yep.
and the high is supposed to be like in the 40s, so it's not going to be pleasant.
It's falls here. Maybe finally it was like 80 2 days ago.
I know.
So.
It's been so bizarre. We had a great weather for Rhinebeck weekend.
Oh, it was so beautiful.
Couldn't be more perfect.
Yeah. So we'll get there, but you're wearing your other
so
finished object.
I finally finished my 3 pips mystery knit along, and it is very long. And I think when I blocked it, I ended up blocking it, and I had 8 of my blocking mats lined up, and they're close. They're a little bit under a foot, I think, and then 1 at the point, so I could pull the point out a little bit, and it was still hanging off the end of the blocking mats, and it was funny. It was so nice. I got to meet the Periscoping sisters, Amy and Debbie. They were at Rhinebeck, and the last day, Sunday morning, I ended up catching up with them, and I introduced myself, and Chelsea,
as you do.
Yeah, I know. Chelsea from Legacy Knits was standing right there next to him too, and she's like, "Oh, they're the ones that own my local yarn store." So that was really fun. But so it was fun, and Debbie was actually saying that she didn't block hers as aggressively lengthwise. She pulled it a little bit more depth, so that there was more depth.
Yep.
And lengthwise it is nice because you can wrap it around so many times. But next time I block it, I might block it not quite as long and a little bit deeper.
Yep.
And play around with that. So because I don't usually wear a lot of scarves and really long shawls, so getting the wraps figured out.
Yeah.
It's not too bad right now,
it looks
though.
great right now.
So yeah, so I ended up using.
I say right now, like some point it doesn't
right
look
now,
good.
it's gonna look bad later on. It might.
I was like, I didn't think that
right
comment
now.
to a logical conclusion before it just popped out of my mouth. Like, that looks good right now. Later though, can't vouch for you.
Yeah, that's all right. I totally get it. So I ended up using. This is Legacy Fiber Arts, their Spellbook colorway, which is one of their Halloween colorways. This Succulents from Vine, and then the other one is a Madeline Tosh, and that's Cousteau colorway. So I've got all of this on my project page. I have to take a final picture, though, because I don't have a finished object picture on my Ravelry page. But we'll link to all of this stuff in our show notes, which I've been getting better about actually getting done. So if you want any of the information about the patterns of the yarn, that kind of thing, it will be there.
Yep. So works in progress.
Oh, I had to start some more.
Boy, I know you did. I know you did. Look, the sock that will not end.
Well, you
I actually labeled this on my notes here. Those darn socks.
They're not the other ones, the teal and gray ones.
No, those are. I haven't even done anything with those. I turn the heel and I'm going down the foot.
You're gonna finish those very soon though, because those are gonna fly.
Yeah. Being the
DK weight.
So as soon as I get done with these, I can cast on something else.
Nice.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
Well, I have more than 2 works in progress that are kind of being worked on at the moment. But I have 2 that I will show you because I've got a lot of yarn from Rhinebeck, so I don't want to, bore you with all the projects that some of them you've already seen a lot of anyway.
Right.
So I have decided I really haven't done brioche. So it's funny, Ange and Carol and I were all talking about how we wanted to do some brioche projects.
Yep.
And at least just to familiarize myself with the process so that if people come in for help and questions and different decreases and things, then I can at least give them a good shot at helping them.
Right.
So I decided to pick a hat that has all kinds of fun increases and decreases in brioche, because if you're gonna,
It's a go big or go home.
it is.
Yeah.
Go big or go home. So I am doing the Rosencrantz hat, which that is, I think it's showing.
Yeah, it is.
That's the hat, and I am doing it in two. They did similar colorways, which looks really cute, but I am doing it in a gray and a green, and it's at the very beginning stages, so it's really hard to see right now, although the camera's picking it up pretty well.
Pretty good.
It ends up having this cool scallop from the different increases and decreases on it. So I am using Madeline Tosh DK, and I didn't grab the colorways, but I'll put that all in the project notes. So I'm doing it in a green and like a really cool smoky gray, and the gray is going to be my main color on the outside, and then the green is the background color.
Nice.
So that'll kind of pop through.
Nice.
And it is a lot of fun. It's very addictive, and actually doing it in the round is kind of nice, because so when you do 2-color brioche, it's almost like you have to knit a row twice, because you have to knit it with your main color, and then you have to knit it with your contrast color. So doing it in the round is nice, because you come back to it and then you pick up your contrast color, do that round, and then you're done. If you're knitting flat, you have to do your main color, then slide your work back to the other side of your needle. So you always have to use a circular or double points or something like that, depending on what you're making and how much room you need. So that is one thing. So you just have to remember to do that.
Pick up the other color.
Yeah, and then work your next row. So it's really interesting, and it's kind of fun, and it does make really squishy. So this hat, I think, is going to be nice and warm
For winter.
Yeah. So this is knit on size 4 needles, and it is so the Madeline Tosh DK, as the name implies, says a DK, but a lot of times we'll knit to more like a light worsted or worsted weight. But it's knitting up really well.
Nice.
So we'll see how it goes as I get further on. Once you get kind of through the flower, it looks kind of like a flower, like a lotus blossom or something like that. Then it's just some basic striping.
Straight brioche.
Yeah, and then you get to the top and you have to do the decreases. But I mean, if I've been handling these decreases okay in the kind of pattern stitch part of it, so I think it'll be fine. So, but it's a lot of fun.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
Be neat to see the progress.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Like, I really hadn't had any interest in doing brioche, because I was like, I don't know. It just seems like so much work, because you have to knit the row twice, and it's like this, but then I started doing it, and it's really fun just to kind of see the everything kind of pop out, the pattern really kind of pop out at you. So that's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
So yeah. So
Nice.
I guess until you try something,
So I have one. I can't remember how far I was on this one. Last time. This is Life of a Blueberry.
Oh my gosh, you've gotten really far since the last time. I think.
Yeah. So the body is finished.
Oh my gosh.
And I just picked up for the first sleeve, which it's going to be short sleeve. So I'm basically just doing this portion, picking it up and then knitting in garter for an inch or two, and then I'll have the second sleeve to finish, and then it's just sewing some buttons on. So it comes apart here, so it's easier to get over kids' heads.
So cute.
This is Christmas present for my niece.
It's really cute.
So that's almost done. So maybe I'll have a couple of finished objects next week. Har. You never know.
You never know.
Never know.
All right, I'm going to see if I can get the pattern picture out for the next pattern I'm working on. There's this one. So I think I mentioned in my in the last podcast that I had the Savage Heart farm yarn, and that I wanted to do something with, and I hadn't decided on what I was actually going to make with it. And I had talked about maybe doing Georgetown or I don't remember what the other sweater is. I know I mentioned Georgetown, but I ended up deciding that I wasn't going to do Georgetown, and but I hadn't decided completely. So I have Braid Hills has been, by Kate Davies, has been in my queue for a long time. And actually, I bought it. Gosh, I bought the pattern quite some time ago. It is paid for pattern. And I just hadn't found the right yarn that I wanted to use for it. So I decided to try the Savage Heart Farm yarn and see if I could get gauge with it.
Okay.
Because it is DK, it's leans towards a heavy worsted, but there's my swatch.
I mean, the stitch definition.
The stitch definition is really, really nice on there. So I ended up, this was knit on size 4 needles, and my gauge was a little bit big. But I like the fabric that it made on a 4. I wouldn't want to go down to a 3 because it would be way too dense. And I want it to have a little bit of drape. I don't mind it having structure because it's more of a tighter fitting sweater, and it can handle that a little bit of a structure to it.
Yeah.
So what I did is I figured out what my gauge is. My row gauge is perfectly fine. So that's actually going to work out fine, but row gauge usually isn't the one you have to worry about anyway. It's your stitch gauge. So my stitch gauge is 5.5 stitches to the inch, and the one that they called for is 6 stitches to the inch. Half a stitch does not sound like much, but
it adds up.
Yeah, when you figure it over the entire body of your sweater, it's quite a lot. So I was actually determined that I could make it and just go down a size from what I was normally gonna wear.
I was gonna try to embarrass myself really quickly and do some math. Like if you have 100 stitches, and you're a half an inch off for every 5 or 6 stitches, I mean you're talking 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah.
That your sweater will be off if you're not hitting gauge.
Yeah. So I was able to go down, and I wasn't really sure what size sweater I wanted to make anyway. So the way I figured it out is they gave the stitch count for after you do the bust increases, they gave you the stitch count at the widest point of the bust. So I actually took my gauge of 5.5 stitches to the inch and multiplied that by the stitch count of the different sizes. So I wanted it to obviously be big enough so that when it's close, it would fit for me. Yeah. And so without giving you all the details of all my measurements, not that I care, but so I was able to figure out that if I went down a size, it's going to give me a little bit of positive ease, but not so much that it's going to, look really looser, because it is supposed to be a tighter fitting sweater. So it was going to give me, I think, once it's buttoned, I think it'll give me maybe an inch or so of positive ease. So I think it should work out just fine. So I did start that, and I actually started the ribbing before we went to Rhinebeck. So you have to do twisted rib at the bottom on 3s. So you drop down for the ribbing at the bottom. You drop to 3s.
And we didn't hear any complaining at all the entire weekend about the twisted rib.
Not at all. I was thoroughly enjoying the twisted rib. No, it just seemed to take forever because it does. It was on 3s, and yeah. So it's really cool. I like how that they have you keep in sort of in pattern. They have you do a couple rows of the chart over so that it just kind of almost bleeds up into the chart pattern.
That is cool.
So I'll show you it's not the clearest picture. So just those cables go right up the front on either side, and then there's a little bit of that cable detail on the sleeve as well.
That's really, really beautiful.
So it's a really, really pretty sweater. I have had my eye on it for quite some time. So it's knitting up really well. And once I got past the twisted rib, it flies because there's only 16 stitches of pattern here, and then the rest is just stockinette.
Yeah.
And so that's really gonna fly. And then I'll have to pick up for button bands and whatnot when I get to the end.
And a pattern like this is nice if you want to try cables.
Yeah.
Because the whole sweater is not cabled.
Yeah. No. It's not. And the cable, you actually do all of the cable stitches twisted so that they pop. That's really what doing a twisted stitch makes happen. And then there's just some purl stitches, reverse stockinette on around it, so that you really, really see that. So this is my little swatch, but you can see this is going to go all the way up both front sides of the sweater. So it's going to be really pretty when it's done. And it's going really, really quickly. And the Savage Heart yarn, it's been really nice to work with. I mean, it's definitely more of a farm yarn, but it's not super scratchy or crunchy.
Yeah, it's one of the softest farm yarns I think I've had my hands on. So
they raise Cordales and Cormos. They're a crossbreed. I think they just got a Cormo ram, so a lot of their ewes are breeding to him, so they're getting a finer micron count to their yarn. So that's that, and I've been really enjoying it. The only bad thing is, so I got home after I've pretty much this much done from Rhinebeck weekend, and I was knitting in the car, and I got home and I was like, oh my God, I cast on the wrong number of stitches. So I cast on fewer stitches so I think I'm doing the third size in. And I realized I cast on for the second size in. But with my gauge, it's still going to be, because if this was going to come down to like my full hip width, then I would be a little bit in trouble. But it's not a really, really long sweater, so it's actually going to be perfect. It sits just above my full hip, which.
So did you add stitches back on to the body?
So I will show you what I did. This is really cool. I'll cover up my chart, but what I ended up doing is I figured out how many rows. So they tell you your stitch count after there is waist shaping. And then once you finish the waist shaping, you knit straight for a few rows, and then you go into your bust increases.
Okay.
So what I did is I knew how many, they give you the stitch count along the way. So what I did is I figured out how many waist decreases to take out to get to the number of the size that I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Once you're at your narrowest point.
Yep.
And then from there on, it'll be correct.
Okay.
So it's going to be a little bit straighter as I go up from the hips, and then it'll start going in. But that's perfectly fine for me because I have a really long waist, so I don't mind if it's a little bit straighter before it goes in.
Okay.
So I think it'll work out. So what I did to make myself a little less crazy, I'll cover this up because I put a picture of the chart on there. But I made this little spreadsheet, and you can't really see, but so what I ended up doing is I have the chart row, so I know which row of the chart I'm supposed to be doing in one column, and then I put the increases or the decreases here as I'm going down, and then the increases, so I can just go along and check those off when I do them. So I didn't have to.
Way to keep track.
It was. For me, I mean, everybody kind of does it a little bit differently, but because the chart is really easy to memorize, it's 16 stitches wide and it's 16 rows high, and it's very intuitive when you're going along. You can look at the neck, just look at your knitting and say, oh, okay, I know what I have to do on this row.
Nice.
So I really don't have to pay a whole lot of attention to that. So by planning it out on a spreadsheet, once I cross something off, I'm like, okay, I know where I am, and especially since I've got so many other projects that I'm working on, I can pick it up and put it down pretty easily this way. So
nice.
Yeah, and that was my main reason for doing it, because if I didn't, then I would be completely lost the next time I went to pick it up. And I'm trying to make it because it's really fun, and it is so much stockinette that I can work on it,
here or there.
Whenever, exactly. Yeah. Whenever I've got a few minutes, I can, because I can do a row pretty quickly. So, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying it, and I've wanted to do this sweater for a long time. So,
nice.
Yeah. So that's that, and I will stop yammering on about that.
So I've got some stuff coming up on deck.
Nice.
Some of it, actually all of it's Rhinebeck purchases.
That's good, though, that you have projects in mind for it already.
I know. Let's not talk about the prior Rhinebeck purchases that are still sitting
Yeah, we won't go there.
So we went to Indie Untangled on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to, I'm trying to get there. I picked this up from Vivid Fiber Arts. That's Amy Rooney. She comes and does our dyeing classes.
She's going to be here a week from
29th.
Saturday, the 29th.
Yep.
So, and we still have just a few spots left it's a sock blank dyeing class, and we have a few spots left in it.
But if you need to see, I mean, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is a blue into kind of an aqua teal color. It's 100% tencel, so that's sort of her specialty.
She does. Yeah. She has a lot of allergies herself, so she wanted to do some yarns and fibers that other people like her could use.
That's right.
Which is nice.
So this is 150 grams at 693 yards. This is the Laguna colorway, as you can see. It looks like a lagoon. And this is going to become a shawl of some sort. I'm waffling back and forth right now between Pebble Beach or Spectral. And I'm kind of leaning, I think, maybe more towards a Spectral, because it's a cowl with a pattern, like a lace pattern on it.
Nice.
Spectral was written for gradients, but it was meant to do like dark colors on the edges and get lighter when you work towards the middle. But the way this skein is set up, I'm just going to have to knit from one side to the other, so it'll just be a gradual
Which will
change.
still be pretty
It'll
too.
still be super pretty. So I have to go check the yardage on Spectral. I think it will work.
Yeah.
They can just cut it. It just wouldn't be as wide. So it's knit. I'm pretty sure it's knit in the round, the long way.
Nice.
So I can pretty much stop it whenever.
Yeah.
So
Very nice. So we have.
So
do you have other stuff?
Yeah,
Because I don't have any other upcoming. Well, I mean, I will eventually.
I'll just stop with that one.
Okay.
I got a whole bag of upcomings over here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't know if we wanted
let's not get crazy.
to move into that or not. So we end up. We do have not tons of events coming up, but we've got classes that we've got coming up. We've got the dyeing class.
Yep.
I actually have a sock class this weekend, intro to sock knitting class, and that is jam-packed full. So there's that. So unfortunately, for anybody who wants to get into that, there's no space. However, we did add that class again because we had so many people who were interested in that. We are going to be running that again, and I think it's on the 19th, but I have to double check. It's on the website, so check out the website if that's a class you're interested in. We did also add a beginning knitting class. So for anybody, if you know of anybody who wants to learn to knit, we did add that class as well. And I believe that one is on the 5th of November. I may have those two flip-flop, but they're both on the website. And the dyeing class is on the website too. So if there any of those sound of interest to you guys, we'll have those coming up. We've got a finishing class. That one is, I think it's half filled. So there are some spots left in that. And
Excellent.
what else? Do we have anything big and upcoming? I don't think so.
If we were going to do something for our 1-year
That's right.
anniversary, but we're slackers and haven't got there yet. So
I know. So we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary, which is right around the first weekend in November. And that's a little bit of a tough weekend because it's the Fiber Festival of New England, which happens down at the Big E in Massachusetts, Springfield. So that weekend a lot of times is pretty busy for people, but if you're in the area, we're probably going to do a few fun things anyway in the store.
we'll probably have more fun things too over like Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like we did last year.
Yeah, Small Business Saturday and Black Friday and all those fun things.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so we don't have any other little events and whatnot going on, but
We survived Rhinebeck.
we did.
I'm not sure my pocketbook survived Rhinebeck, but we survived.
I did pretty good.
Did all right. I just took cash.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I think I used my credit card just a couple times, but it was for things that I had really wanted anyway and didn't mind, spending a little bit extra on. So we went to Friday night. We had mentioned we went to Indian Tangled, which is always a lot of fun. I had an early pass, so I got to go in before a lot of other people. So there's 125 of us that bought early passes, and basically what that meant is we got to go in an hour before the masses came in. So it was a lot of fun. So my first stop was Voul and Vine, because she was pretty much right as you walk through the door, and from where we were. And her yarns are always usually pretty difficult to get. And
I may or may not have put in a special order with her.
So it was kind of nice. I got 3 skeins of yarn, and they're not the same colorway. However, Ange had decided that she wants to do a featherweight or
a Madewell or something.
A Madewell or some other sweater. So she gave me some sort of direction on the yarn that she was looking for. She said something purpley.
And this is what she picked out for me.
So I ended up getting the Gashley Crumb on the Volca base for her.
Which is her MCN base.
Her MCN base, which is really lovely. It's got some really pretty purples and plums and greens and little hints of blue in there. So
yeah.
So
it's gonna be
I got that
awesome.
for her, and I ended up getting for myself. Well, the other thing I should mention too is that I talked to Kristen about possibly coming and doing a trunk show up here. I gave her our card and just said, I know it's she doesn't sell to stores. She doesn't wholesale. Which it's really, really difficult for small dyers, especially who have a really big following already, because they want to be able to supply yarn to their current customers. And she's got so much demand. I mean, that's why, it was nice that I had the pass, and that way I could buy enough skeins for Ange all in the same colorway, because a lot of times if you do hit one of her updates, you can't get multiple skeins of the same colorway. Which is really difficult. Although she just did, I haven't been to her site since she updated her service provider for her website. So apparently you can't get cart jacked. Once things are in your cart and you're in the checkout process, you won't get cart jacked anymore.
Oh, that's
so good. But I did get some of her yarn, and all the yarn of hers that I got is on the Volca base, which is her MCN base. And I got some Dirty on Purpose.
Which is a nice
brown. It's got a lot of gray in it too, so it's good neutral. You can use it with a lot of other colors.
Yep.
It's just really pretty. I ended up getting Mexican hot chocolate because I just really like this. It's showing up kind of more burgundy on there, but it is kind of a orangey
red.
Yeah. Which my Asana shawl that I had, I've been really leaning towards the very earthy, rusty kind of colors this fall. And that other one that I got that is not terribly earthy or rusty, but I love it to death, is Stellar Banshee. And it's really fun, bright pops of like fuchsia and magenta and like some greens. So there is some like earthy colors in there.
Yeah.
So,
But that's not why you bought it.
That's not, I know. Shh, okay. So that was really fun. So I did get to talk with Kristen for a little bit, which was fun. That was actually the best thing about getting in early, is I got to chat with some of the vendors. Nice. So we at the store sell White Birch Fiber Arts. So Lisa is the owner and the dyer behind White Birch, and I've chatted with her on the phone. I've talked to her through email and things like that, but I had never actually met her. So I sought her out and introduced myself, and just wanted to let her know, hey, sometimes it's fun putting a face to a name and a voice that you talk to.
She's going to be coming through her festival circuit, and we'll be getting some more yarn from her.
We need to replenish,
Yeah.
So she's great, and she showed me some of her new bases she's got. She's got a camel silk base.
Ooh.
It is like butter. It's like I was petting it, and I was like, oh my gosh. The other thing new that she's added is a lace weight. So she had some really cool, kind of like your gradient that you've got from Amy. She's doing gradients on a lace weight base, which is really nice because you don't see that a whole lot. Lace isn't like super popular, but for the people that want to do a lace weight shawl that's a gradient, it's nice that there are options out there, especially indie dyed options too.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, so I got to chat with Lisa. So I got to restock on some of her yarns here soon. We're almost out.
Yeah.
And then the other vendor that I ended up chatting with and getting some of their yarn
Me too.
was 100 Ravens. And one of the skeins that I got, I don't have anymore. I had a little bag like that, and I got a skein. It was really pretty. It was purples and blues and whatever. But I gave it to Jen because I wanted to thank her. She stayed at the store and worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I wanted to bring her a little souvenir back from Rhinebeck or Indian Tangle, our trip anyway. So by her staying and working here, we all got to go and enjoy a really fun weekend. Yeah. So, but 100 Ravens, they are out of New Hampshire, and I
think we're going to be bringing our yarn into the store.
Yeah, so I was talking to Kate, who is the owner, dyer behind 100 Ravens, and she is super sweet, and she actually had some wholesale kits all put together, so if anybody was, wanting to find out about wholesaling, so I got all of her color cards and bases and things like that, and really lovely yarns, and they're in New Hampshire. We really like supporting. I mean, it's not Vermont, but it's regional, local. It's local to us. We consider it local. Yeah. And so I was really excited about that, and I got these lovelies, and I think I'm going to put these all together into a shawl of some sort. So they're just gorgeous. This is a singles, it's a fingering weight, but it's a singles base, and it's 100% merino. And I just love these colors. So you can, we'll probably, once we get some of her yarn in, we'll definitely announce it on the podcast.
Yep.
But she's got some really lovely, she does a lot, she had some, like variegateds and things like that, but she had some really great like semi-solids and tonals.
Like this I would consider kind of a semi-solid.
Yeah. Which it's sometimes hard. Everybody's been doing like the splash dyed yarns or the variegateds and things like that. That sometimes they almost, some of the dyers forget about a semi-solid or tonal yarns.
Something like this.
So it's fun to have them because, I mean, you sometimes need them to tie everything together.
Yep.
So really lovely stuff. And I mean, even this one does have, look at that little pop of like the white in here, and it goes from dark to the light. It's really gorgeous, but it's going to be so nice with these other ones.
Yep.
So, and one of the fun things I got, because I got the early passes, I got this super cute tote. Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, it's a great toter.
It's really cute. So, and then there are some coupons and a couple little different stitch marker little kits and things that some of the different vendors put in there. So it was a lot of fun. And then I think we didn't stay too terribly long after they opened the doors. Angie and Carol came in, and we were there for maybe another hour, 45 minutes to an hour or so, and kind of wandered around. But it was getting pretty crowded in there by then. Yep. So, and then we actually, there was a Stephen West spotting that night, and I got a picture of him there, but I was still gonna see if I could get a picture with him, but he was like making a beeline to another booth. I wasn't gonna be like chasing after him.
You weren't gonna do to him what I did to Amy Beth the Fat Squirrel the next day.
That's okay.
Nothing like fangirling and making an idiot out of yourself. Anyway.
So we went back to the house and we made some
nice dinner.
Really good.
Kelly made dinner. Carol and I basically just sat around.
That was fun. It was fun. Oh my gosh, it's really nice having a house to go back to and kick your feet up, knit, drink some wine, relax, kind of have your own pace, and then not have to go out and find food and go to a restaurant. And I mean, that's fun too. But
I mean, if you're out at a festival all day, you really just need some downtime to relax and
So we had driven and gotten there early, gotten settled into the house, and then headed off to Indian Tangled, which is in Kingston.
And we also had Abigail with us.
We did.
She's just about 4 months old, but
yeah, she was such a champ though. She was amazing. She was such a good little girl, really. So then Saturday morning, bright and early. I think we headed to the festival around 8:30 or so.
Yep, we got there about 8:30.
We got there about 8:30, and there's always a little bit of a line, but it wasn't ridiculous. And
good parking.
Yeah. I mean, we got there early enough, so there was good parking. And as soon as they opened the gates,
it starts moving.
It moves right through. So we ended up.
I think at Primrose Yarns to start.
Yeah, I think we did go to Primrose because Carol had wanted to get some yarn. She was looking for some bright yarn because she wanted to do one of Stephen West's shawl patterns. So she ended up finding some yarn she liked there. And
me too.
I found some yarn that I like there too. Her yarns are really lovely. Kelsey, I think her name is Kelsey, is the dyer.
I think so.
And so I got this one because, fall colors. And I think I'm going to pair it with this one. So these are both hers.
Nice.
This really nice orange. And it's looking kind of reddish on there, but it's more of a pumpkin-y orange. And then the other one that I got, those two were fingering weight, and they're a superwash. Are they 100% superwash? Yep, those are 100% superwash. So I'm going to do a shawl with those anyway, so it's fine. And then this one is like her sport DK weight base. And I'm going to do a hat out of this, I think, for myself. Because I have just a black coat, and it has little pops of black in it. So I think that'll be really nice. I haven't decided on what hat pattern yet, but.
So, and I took the easy way out. So she had packed in these clear project bags.
Little bundles of
skeins that would go together. And they're colors that you probably normally wouldn't pick off.
Those look really good
yourself. But it was sort of the orange that caught my eye, and then I looked at the other colors, and I kept going back to this one. So this is the pack that I picked up.
Plus this adorable
you get this
little bag.
So
it's
bag.
Clear, and it's one of like the square shape, rectangle
yeah.
bags.
Box.
Yeah, there
box
you
bags.
go. Box bags. And then it's got the zipper up the front, so
yep.
that's really cute. Those I saw it. That wasn't she was the only one that had those this year. There were some other places did you or Carol?
I got another.
You did. Okay.
Clear plastic one. Because you can show off your project.
That's right.
Your pretty project that you're working on.
That's right.
So.
That's right. Awesome. So that was all I got on that day. So I got those 3 skeins. I got 3 skeins on Saturday, and did you get anything else on Saturday?
Yeah, but I don't need to show it. With the Gales art.
Oh.
The gradient kit.
Oh.
I'll show that when I get ready.
When you get ready.
When I get ready to.
Yeah, she had some really lovely things.
Yeah.
So on Sunday, so we did pretty much all day. We had the podcaster meetup on Saturday, which was a lot of fun, and
can we get one of these?
Why don't you put it on the table here? Okay.
So on the podcaster meetup was at 1, which is after the Ravelry meetup, and there was a lot of podcasters there this year. I caught up with Boston Jen and of the Downseller Studio podcast. I caught up with Eric of the Sticks Plus Twine podcast, which I wanted to meet him because he's been to the store, but he was here on a Sunday, and I'm a lot of times not here on Sunday. And oh my gosh, he was just so sweet. And so he is one part of the new magazine, the Rib magazine, which Devin from the Handmade in Woolen podcast is also undertaking with him. And Devin and Jenny were both there, and they're so sweet. And they live about an hour south of where our store is, so we see them on occasion. Chelsea and Sue from Legacy Knits were there, and it was fun because actually Sunday morning we were standing in line, and they were coming up, and so
they just joined us.
They joined us in line, and we got to chat with them, which was a lot of fun because I see Chelsea on occasion when she pops into the store, but we don't really usually have a lot of time to chat, which it was nice.
Yep. And I introduced myself or managed to connect with Michelle from the Actually Knitting podcast.
Oh, okay, nice.
She was there as well.
Yeah, there were so many that I didn't get to that I wanted to catch up with. Megan from Stockinette Zombies was there, and I saw her briefly, and I was like, oh, I gotta go say hi to her. And then I just, you know, there were so many things
Christy
going on.
from Innocent was there.
Yeah.
Notre Dame Jen from the Community.
That's right. She was there with
her
twins. Oh my gosh. Then we caught up with Jen of the Uncreative Crafter podcast.
Yep.
Hi Jen. She's fairly local to us. She came to our stitch and pitch night that we did, and she stopped by the store before, so that was fun. And what else? I don't know. There were so many people there. It's hard to remember them all, but it was a lot of fun. So hi to everybody, all our new friends, and if you're watching, and that was a lot of fun. And then it wasn't too long.
Clearly Amy Beth from the Fat Squirrel was there.
That's right. She was. And then you ended up leaving not too long after that, because Abigail was pretty tired. So I mean, it's a long
2 o'clock. So.
Yeah, it's a long day. So Carol and I ended up wandering around a little bit more. So we caught up with so we had 2 vans that went down to Rhinebeck. They're customers of the store. Some of you watched. Hi. We hope you had a lot of fun. Unfortunately, one of the vans got a little bit stuck in traffic and lost on the way back. And yeah, so they ended up getting they got back. So the first van got back at a little after 9. Yep. The second van, it was 10:30 when they got back.
Gosh.
Yeah, they got stuck in major traffic.
Oh no.
So unfortunately, yeah. So I'm really sorry to anybody who was stuck on that van. That was not cool. It was too bad. I don't know why they didn't just kind of caravan together. Yeah. But so anyway, that unfortunately happened. But so we caught up with some of the people that came down on the van and kind of got to get their impression of, because we had a lot of first timers that were on the van that went down to Rhinebeck, and so it was a lot of fun, and seeing what they saw, what they their impressions of it were. And so after we did that, I think we just kind of wandered around a little bit more, and then we headed back to the house and had some supper. My sweet husband had made us a batch of spaghetti sauce.
It was delicious.
So all we had to do was heat it up and make some, boil the pasta. Yeah. And so that was great. So of course we had a little bit more wine and and just got to relax and do some knitting. So, and that's why I got,
they got to do some knitting.
Yeah, well.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm catching up. I'm doing my knitting now.
There you go. And then Sunday we got, the festival didn't open until 10 on Sunday. So we got there a little before then. And then I mentioned we got to hang out with Chelsea, and Sue was there waiting in line. And then there was a couple places left that we wanted to go. One was Into the World, which I ended up finding some. I looked at their stuff on Saturday, but I didn't buy any. But then it was one of those things where I was mulling it over that night. And I was like, oh, I really should go back because I really liked their yarn. Oh, I like that one. I saw that one knit up. So I have mentioned before that I'm a big fan of The Big Bang Theory, the TV show. So this is actually from Into the World. This is one of their sock bases. This is the Gloucester sock, which is 80/20 superwash nylon. And this is their Scissors Lizard Spot colorway. So anybody who watches Big Bang is going to get that. Is going to get that reference. So this is one of their sock. So they do a number of different designs, I should say, I guess. And this one does really thin self-striping patterns, which is really kind of neat.
Can I whisper something in your ear and you tell me the answer?
We're almost done.
We are almost done. We're very, very close.
Thank you.
And then I got one other colorway. This is another Into the World, and this is Quoth the Raven, which I thought was really pretty. It's nice purples and teals, and
those are nice.
I like that. So,
and I fell down the Into the World rabbit hole as well. This is Into the Black. It's their Pakaku. That's Pakaku sock. It's a 75-25 merino nylon blend. And then I couldn't resist this one,
that one's really
which
cool.
is Madame Vostra, which is again a nice, just kind of crazy, wild color. And then this one, which is Always Greener. Again, this knits up really kind of cool.
Yeah,
It's
and
cool
they had, I saw the Into the Greener, and they had that one that was set up with the longer repeats so that it would do like a thin self-striping too. So they had a lot of their colorways set up in different, they dyed them in different ways so that they're either going to be little tiny specks here and there, or little splashes of color, or stripy, or so it was kind of neat. Yeah. And they had a lot of their samples all knit up around the tops of their booth, so which that was cool. Really nice.
I mean, I bought this one because I saw it knit up.
Yeah.
So
another thing, I did on Sunday. Carol reminded me she wanted to get a nitty knotty that was around a yard or so. So I actually have one that converts from either 1 yard or it goes to up to a 2 yard size. So a nitty knotty is what you can wind skeins onto.
Yep.
So if you're a spinner, or you just have to skein something, or whatever you need to make a skein, then a nitty knotty is what you use. So this one I wanted to get, because I have a 1 yard and a 2 yard one, I wanted to get a little one, which they're great for either making mini skeins, or if you're sampling. So if you're a spinner and you want to sample and make up a little skein, they're great for that, because you don't have to make a big giant one. So this is my little one. It's a nice little cherry wood one that I found.
Very nice.
And so I got that, and I didn't bring it with me because it's a little bit big and bulky. I got a school loom as well, which is basically like a tapestry loom. It's about that big. And I actually got it all warped up, and I started doing a little bit of weaving.
Nice.
So it's fun. You can do, I think it's about that wide. So you can do a lot of different fun tapestry type things, or do little sample squares. You don't have to warp the entire width of it. You can do smaller sizes. So it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to play around with that a little bit. And
nice.
Yeah. And the other thing, I also got some, there's a woman that's there, and I forgot to bring her card, of course. I meant to do that at least. I didn't bring the prints. But she does paper silhouette pictures. They're really unbelievable. And I didn't get some of her original works, the cut paper, but I did get some of her prints. I got one of a tree with 2 sheep underneath, which is super cute. And then I got another one that was like the moon with trees on either side, and then 2 little dogs sitting in the middle. And it's funny because one dog is bigger and the other is littler, and it's just like my 2 dogs, and it was so cute. And so I had to get that.
Nice.
But then, so my very last purchases of the day, we had to stop. I had seen them, of course, before, and I have a bunch. I have some at home that I haven't knit yet, but of course I had to stop.
We have to get more.
So Gail's art, she does some beautiful yarn. I have some of her yarn too.
Yep.
It's not just her sock blanks that are really lovely, but she's got some really lovely yarn too. But I ended up getting some of her sock blanks. She was actually in her booth Sunday morning, and it was fun.
And it wasn't super crowded.
It was not crowded at all, and we got to stand and chat with her, and she is just lovely.
Yeah.
She was so fun to chat with. We really had a great time chatting with her, and got to tell her how much we appreciate her work and really enjoy knitting with her work, which is always fun. So I ended up getting 2 sock blanks. I got this fun one, so it says Boo on it.
It'll show.
And then there's little ghosts on it. Yeah. So the fun thing is, because sometimes I don't always get to these things, in a timely fashion, since Halloween is a week from... It's a week from Monday. So the colors are not, traditionally Halloween colors. So Actually, they'd be good winter colors too. So even if I'm
Yeah.
still knitting on these, in through the winter, then, the colors will at least work out. The
That's
little
right.
ghosts in the boo, well, but.
That's right.
So that's, that one was really cute. And then I got one other one. These are so fun to knit up. If you've never knit with a sock blank,
They're fun.
they're so addictive because, you know how it looks on here, but that's not how it's going to turn out on your socks. And it's always fun to see how your socks turn out, whether they stripe or whether it's just totally random or just little flecks. And then this is the other one that I got, which I thought was really, really pretty.
That is gorgeous.
Just this red in here
Yeah.
was what really caught my eye. That red with that teal together. I cannot wait to see how this
That's
one.
going to be amazing.
Yeah, Gail actually said to me, she's like, oh, you have to post pictures when you do that one up. She's like, because I want to see how it looks. So I really like that. And that's it. Oh my gosh, I am going to stop talking now because that is a lot.
I know, right? So I think we should just move on to prizes or do our shout outs and then move on to prizes.
Let's do our shout outs. Whoa, I'm going to take our microphones down. Yeah, we can do our shout outs and then do our fun prizes and then we'll wrap it up.
So we want to do a quick shout out to Melanie, who went down on the Rhinebeck bus from the store. She actually won 3 ribbons
For her spinning.
for her spinning.
It is stunning. Her spinning is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. So 2 blue ribbons and 1 yellow third place ribbon.
Yeah.
Yellow,
Yeah.
white, whatever.
Yellow. I think it's yellow. White is 4th. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is phenomenal. She posted some pictures on Instagram, and her spinning is really lovely. And she's been in before and had her spinning with her, and oh my gosh.
So awesome job, Melanie.
Yes, very awesome. Congratulations. That's really, really amazing.
And then our other shout out is for those of you who have already purchased some of the Savage Heart Farm yarns based on our podcast.
Yeah,
2
we want
weeks
to
ago.
say
Thank you so much
for supporting us, for supporting a local farm.
Yep.
And I actually heard back from one of you already and said that you just absolutely loved the yarn when it showed up. So thank you.
Yes,
You guys know who you are, and we appreciate the support.
You're also Kelly and Carol.
Yeah, so I bought a sweater quantity, and so did Carol. She's gonna knit a vest for her husband out of it. So, but it's really lovely yarn, and I'm gonna have to connect with them again and get some more.
Order some more already.
I know. They'll be so excited.
They will be excited.
They'll be really excited. So thank you again to everybody.
All right, so prizes.
So prizes.
Dun dun dun. Prizes.
Yes, indeed.
You want to go first with our
grand prize?
Our grand prize for the
Okay.
MLY Rhinebeck 2016.
I can do that.
Hashtag.
I can do that. So our grand prize, I will show you the prizes. We have a lovely skein of White Birch Fiber Arts, her stripy sock yarn. And this is hung out to dry colorway. It's pretty pinks and greens and stuff. And one of the really cute project bags that my mom has made. And look, see,
they match.
we coordinated them
Matchy,
because
matchy.
of course that's what we're gonna do. So our grand prize winner is Megan, and Megan M, and I think there's only one Megan M that posted. So anyway, you know who you are. She posted a really super cute picture of a llama staring her down, and it just made us both laugh. It really made us laugh. That one is one that stuck in my head, and it was too cute. So anyway, Megan, if you see this, when you see this, you can either stop in and pick up your prize or email me, because I know you know my email. And so thank you for playing. And then our runner-up.
We had a runner-up from that hashtag as well because there was some good entries.
So our runner-up had so many cute ones. There was one very first thing on Saturday morning that made me chuckle. And then there was another one throughout the day. She had a little stuffed llama, or a little felted llama, and it was really cute. So Kate Q, this project bag of little sheepies is for you. So if you see this, then contact me, stop in the store, pick up your prize. And then if you guys don't see these within a week, I'm going to send out emails to the winners just so that you know. So yeah, Kate had some cute posts So check out hashtag MLY Rhinebeck 2016 if you want to see all the different posts. And it was Podcaster's Choice for these. That's how we drew.
Yep. And so I've got the prize here for our other Rhinebeck contest that we were running, which was the hashtag MLY No Rhinebeck 2016. So we wanted to let people who couldn't go to Rhinebeck for whatever reason enter and play along as well. So because I have maybe a strong sense of irony or something, this is Into the World skein that I picked up in the Rhinebeck colorway. So for, those of you who aren't able to join us,
of Rhinebeck.
You can have a taste of Rhinebeck and a sheep project bag. And the winner, drum roll,
I know,
is Mommy Doc, also known as Clara. And I'm just going to share what she wrote as her post, which is why I picked this one. So she says, slow progress due to work. Showed Thing 1 sheepy photos, lamented that the New York Sheep and Wool Festival is going on right now and I'm not there. He replied, that's okay, Mommy. You have your own yarn festival right here.
Kids, you gotta love them.
So, Clara, these are for you.
Yeah. So Clara, I think actually everybody that won the prizes actually watches the podcast. Sometimes depending on when they can catch it or not, depending on their schedules, because I know they are all very busy ladies.
Absolutely.
They may not get to watch it in a week's time or not. But if Clara and Megan and Kate, let me know that you saw it, or stop in. I mean, you're all local, so
or if we see you, we'll just be like, hey, you want a prize?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll wait a week, and then if you don't come in or we don't hear from you, then I will send out an email for you guys. And yeah, so thanks for playing.
Yes,
it was a lot of fun.
it
It
was
was
fun.
so much fun looking through all of the hashtags.
We'll have to do some more of those contests, because it was super fun.
It was so fun for us.
Yeah.
Just to see them all, and it was fun seeing everybody who went on our van trip too. It was really fun seeing all the fun stuff they were doing and finding along the way. So.
Exactly. So I think that wraps it up for this week.
I think so. So we're going to insert some fun pictures of all the people we got to meet and things we got to do, and some sheepy. I got some cute sheepy pictures.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
So we're going to insert those. Thank you for everybody who hung around this long and watched, and thanks for coming back and seeing us, and thanks for any new viewers.
That's right.
I should always say that at the beginning, but I always forget. So.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. All right. Bye.
Bye. Who's that?
Me.
Is that William?